Now, let me ask you a question, Mr. Verhey. Were you aware that the furification of Jace the Mind Sculptor would result in such a proliferation of Rule 34? Kind denizens of the internet, I do a lot of driving around. I have places to go, brother. So it gives me occasion to reflect in the solitude of my bubble. I think about life, I think about light, I think about the beginning and the ending of all things. Sometimes I go for a nice jog outside and I get caught in a hype typhoon, a hype tornado, brother. Now, Fallout hasn't even released yet and people are already past it, on to the next car in the never-ending hype train. So we got a glimpse of 4 sets coming out in the coming months. Thunder Junction, Modern Horizons 3, Bloomburrow, and Assassin's Creed. These little sneak peek reveals are meant to generate hype, but sometimes have an idiosyncratic effect. Sometimes these little reveals do the opposite of what the hype beasts over at Wizards of the Coast intend. Sometimes instead of hype, there's exhaustion. It made me think about how we engage with our hobbies. I'm a huge fan of From Software games, Elden Ring, Bloodborne, Sekiro, Dark Souls, all the way into Armored Core, man. Great games. Whenever a new announcement happens, all of us little From fans go nuts. There are multiple YouTubers who are going to do a 40-minute lore video off a 3-minute trailer. They're going to examine each frame. They're going to postulate about whose father the featured character is and whatever. So as a fan, do we delve into these fantasy worlds 24/7? Do we consume the infinite hours of content around the game? Usually you don't. If I have a particular interest, I'll watch a lore video after I play through the game. I want the actual game to be fresh for me. I want to experience every little bit with virgin eyes. And that's just the nature of things. We can choose the ways in which we engage or disengage from our hobbies. With Magic, I want to know what people think. That's what the sneak peeks are designed to do. They generate conversation. So me and my little group of Magic-obsessed bros, we talk spoilers, general impressions, and we all pretty much like to engage that way. So let's take a look at Bloomburrow. In Bloomburrow, stout-hearted heroes and overwhelming calamity beasts will come face to face in a struggle to restore the delicate balance of the land. Little anthropomorphic creatures cavort in a fantasy-filled world. Reminds me of Watership Down a little bit. The Wind in the Willows, remember that, man? Where similarly clad little frogs and rabbits did little creature things in a fantastic forest. The Woodland Showcase cards are pretty neat looking. They're colorful, illustrated by master artists like David Peterson. It's kind of a nice little palette cleanser from the recent, science fiction universes and them shoehorning Clue into Magic. Now listen, this might be a little controversial, but they're furifying some of the planeswalkers, okay? This is dangerous territory because certain people are going to Rule 34 that into some abominable creation for certain unsavory websites out there. If it exists, somebody's going to be a little too into Squirrel Jace or whatever the heck this is. Then we come to Thunder Junction. Now listen, guys out there, all right? Zoom in on Oko's abs. You're not going to get these abs by eating Cheetos, all right? This is pure steroids. I'll tell you that right now. This is the cowboy plane. That's the great thing about Magic. You can have the Wind in the Willows with toads wearing suits of armor right next to Cowboy set with stupid sexy Oko over there flaunting his nips all over the place. So this is the story. An ancient vault has been discovered in Thunder Junction and it's rumored to hide untold riches and power. Everyone wants a slice of the pie. Everyone wants a slice of Oko, but Oko and his rip-roaring team aim to be the first inside. Now Oko's son, Kellen, has at last tracked down his wayward father, but his schemes threaten to sweep Kellen into the role of villain. Yeehaw, buddy. Magical cowboy armor. No revolvers, though, man. This is Thunder Junction, not a Walmart parking lot, dude. Some of the showcase cards suffer from the Amonkhet curse of unreadability. They're supposed to be newspapers or wanted posters, but they're just kind of hard to read. That's the thing about life, though, man. I cannot like it, and you can like it, and that's the American dream, dude. We also get a look at the bonus sheet, the Big Score, which has some artifacts so far. So you have Sword of Wealth and Power here, 3 generic mana for an artifact equipment. Equipped creature gets +2/+2, has protection from instants and sorceries. Whenever equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, create a treasure token. When you next cast an instant or sorcery spell this turn, copy that spell. You may choose new targets for the copy. Has equipped for 2. This is a little extra sword in the cycle of swords, man. Really neat sword. It's a ton of protection, but I think it's balanced. It doesn't really help you get in. Needs an evasive creature, somebody who's got flying or something. And one that wants instant and sorceries in a fairly dense number in your deck. I don't know, man. Putting familiar characters like Vraska and Tiny Bones into a theme park for cowboys didn't work particularly well for the murders at Karlov Manor. It's like these old franchises that would suddenly go somewhere, Ernest goes to camp, the Bundys go to France, you know what I mean? The Simpsons go to Walmart. It's when the writers have wrung all the pathos out of a franchise, they go to Italy or something. Maybe I'm just making that up in my head, but I remember that being a thing with sitcoms. Okay, Modern Horizons 3. This is from Wizards Marketing. Powerful new cards to shake up the metagame. Returning favorites from Magic's past to join the modern era with a skill testing draft format and cards ready to leap into Modern, Commander, and beyond. Modern Horizons 3 has plenty for every dedicated Magic fan. So just look at these Fetchland reprints while I rant for a second. These are supposed to be straight to Modern, but no Modern support set will be complete without a set of 4 Commander decks, right? Well, everything is Commander now, even Modern. It's like punk music, you know, it was meant to be a counter-protest to the banality and plasticity of pop music, but it got corrupted by pop producers and sellout musicians. Commander was a subversive format, challenging us to use constructed staples in new and different ways, but now the constructed sets are built to be used in Commander. It opens up options for us brewers, I guess, but I would be perfectly okay if a set that was called Modern Horizons focused exclusively on Modern. Anyways, man, Fetchland reprint sounds great. I'll take a box. Well, it's $500, so pre-order with your pre-sold kidneys right now. And we got this guy, Emrakul, the World Anew, 12. For a legendary creature, Eldrazi, it's a 12/12. When you cast this spell, gain control of all creatures target player controls. There's no expiration on that. Flying, protection from spells and from permanents that were cast this turn. And when the World Anew leaves the battlefield, sacrifice all creatures you control. Madness, pay 6 colorless. I have a hard time even parsing this card. I think they forgot a period, dude. I don't want to hear about Emrakul missing periods, brother. That's nothing I did. That was somebody over at Wizards. Anyways, I hate it. I know I'll be seeing this thing all over the place. Protection from spells cast this turn. No good way to remove this guy. You need board wipes. So not too many actual cards shown from the set, but they're bringing back Flip Planeswalkers, and Priest of Titania is getting a reprint, so that's nice. And finally, the Cosbys go into the Animus Assassin's Creed Magic style. I always hated these games, not sure why, man. They just seem bad to me when there's so many good games out there. They seem like mass-produced, like very commercial. But you know, if the cards are good, then I'm into it, dude. I do want a Leonardo da Vinci card, and this set delivers that. There's the Sword of Feast and Famine reprint, some other nice cards. I don't know, man. This is another I'll probably skip entirely unless there are some cheap bangers. And you know what? That's okay. You don't have to get into all these universes beyond because it's not to everyone's taste. You know, I had a friend I played a Commander game with, and he said, hey buddy, you're in an advantage because you know all these new cards and have slotted all these craps into your decks, dude. I don't even know what they do. I get that, but I kind of should be at an advantage because I put the time in to keep up with the game. But that aside, all the Fallout, Doctor Who, Warhammer 40k, Assassin's Creed cards don't invalidate the deck you had a couple years ago. You can skip all this stuff if you want, man. It's Commander's a casual format, who cares? Spend 4 years in the desert meditating with a yogi, come back and I'll loan you a Commander deck, dude. We'll get you right back in. And if you do like this stuff, you're in for a feast, man. You can sell your PS5, sell your kidneys, hell, sell your damn kids, dude, and have a blast. But, you know, for the rest of us, the hyenas of the world, the scavengers, the bone pickers, the opportunists of the Magic world, we're going to pick up cheap singles and upgrade our Commander decks. This is the way. I learned it meditating with a yogi in the desert. And this is Nikki G from Better Commander, signing off.